Numerous brooches are as inseparable from Queen Elizabeth II's iconic image as her legendary hats. Beyond their role as mere adornments, these brooches often conveyed a hidden message, captivating admirers as much as the sparkle of the gems themselves. In the Queen's extensive jewelry collection, ruby adornments hold a special place. Join us as we delve into the captivating history of her ruby brooches, from prestigious state gifts to cherished personal souvenirs. Heartfelt gifts from her parents, a special token from Prince Philip, wedding treasures, beloved pieces from the Queen Mother, and intriguing items with mysterious origins. These are the fascinating stories we'll explore in today's video. Before we begin, please support my channel by clicking the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you. The Ruby and Sapphire Flower Brooch. On her 19th birthday in 1945, Queen Elizabeth received this exquisite Cartier brooch from her parents. The base is made of yellow gold, with one flower crafted from blue sapphires and the other from pink sapphires and rubies. The exquisite gift was reportedly given to the Queen along with a pair of earrings. The Queen rarely wore this brooch. However, in May 2022, she donned the rare brooch for the Chelsea Flower Show, paying tribute to her parents. The Flower Basket Brooch. One of Elizabeth's most cherished brooches was a delightful basket of gem-studded flowers that she wore for 7 decades. This brooch, crafted in yellow gold, featured a basket made of diamonds and emeralds, filled with flowers made from diamonds, emeralds, rubies, and sapphires. The brooch, referred to as a giardinetto, or little garden, by Leslie Field, was a gift to the Queen in 1948 from her parents. It was given to celebrate the birth of her first child, Prince Charles, who would become the future heir to the throne. Elizabeth chose to wear this brooch in her first portrait with the newborn Charles, and it became a regular part of her jewelry collection in the years following his birth. Even after she became queen, the brooch remained a significant piece in her jewelry collection. She wore the brooch to many special events, but most significantly to the christening of Charles's first grandchild, Prince George, the future king. It was worn to symbolize the succession of the royal generations. The Jardiniere Brooch. While the flower basket brooch is familiar to many, our next brooch is known to only a few. Meet the Jardiniere Brooch. This brooch was gifted to the Queen in 1941 by her parents and was created by Cartier in the 1930s. The brooch is made of platinum. The basket consists of diamonds, while the berries, leaves, and flowers are made of cabochon rubies, pale Indian emeralds, and blue sapphires. The Queen received this piece from her parents on her 15th birthday. It is one of the first brooches given to the young princess. Elizabeth was photographed wearing this brooch only once, during a family photo session at Windsor in 1942. The Grima Ruby Brooch. This brooch is very dear to Queen Elizabeth II's heart, as it was a personal gift from Prince Philip in 1996. The brooch features a central carved ruby in yellow gold, from which 6 smaller carved rubies radiate, ending with small diamonds. The design was created by Andrew Grima. The Queen wore the brooch regularly throughout her reign. It certainly holds a special place in her collection. She wore it for official photos marking her 70th wedding anniversary with Prince Philip in 2019. After the Duke's death, she frequently wore this brooch to honor his memory. The Queen Mother's Ruby Bouquet Brooch. The Queen Mother's Ruby Bouquet Brooch, known for its delicate yet dramatic design, is a stunning piece featuring a spray of diamond and ruby blooms held together with a sparkling bow. This rare brooch was inherited by Queen Elizabeth II from her mother in 2002. The Queen Mother wore it in her later years as part of a set with other royal ruby pieces. Since its inheritance, the brooch was seen in public only a handful of times, typically at significant diplomatic functions or family holiday events, often paired with outfits in rosy tones. The Queen first wore the brooch publicly in 2008 at the Royal Maundy service in Armagh, where it complemented her smart red jacket. One especially memorable look, in my opinion, was during her state visit to France in 2014, where the brooch was displayed against the background of the scarlet sash of the Legion of Honor, and complemented the iconic Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. In 2021, the Queen wore the brooch during her visit to Manchester's Media City, where it provided a striking contrast to a teal outfit. The Queen Mother's Australian Hibiscus brooch. This brooch was presented to the Queen Mother by the people of Australia on February 15, 1958, during a formal dinner at Government House while she was touring the country. Witnesses recall that she was so enamored with the brooch that she wore it the very next day to a service at St. John's Church. The Queen Mother was dressed in an organza gown adorned with flowers along the hem, matching the color of the rubies in the brooch. Interestingly, an Australian newspaper reported before the visit that Mr. Laver of Collins Street Jewellers created the brooch on behalf of the Commonwealth, estimating its value to be over £5,000. However, the store manager, in an interview, clarified that protocol forbids mentioning the cost of gifts to the royal family, let alone speculating about their price. It is also noteworthy that the hibiscus holds significant cultural importance for Australia, even having its own society, the Australian Hibiscus Society. The brooch features 2 diamond Australian hibiscus flowers with ruby centers. While Queen Elizabeth II inherited the brooch in 2002, she didn't start wearing it until 4 years later. Her first public appearance with this remarkable brooch was at a significant event, Prince William's parade at Sandhurst. Since then, Her Majesty has often worn the brooch with red or pink outfits, particularly at events related to the Commonwealth or Australia. The Queen Mother's Cartier Ruby Floral Clip Brooches. Next, we will look at the charming clip brooches that Queen Elizabeth II inherited from her mother. The Queen Mother often wore these brooches, lovingly designed for her by her husband George VI and created by Cartier. Such clip brooches were especially popular in the 1930s and 1940s and were typically worn on opposite sides of a dress neckline. These ruby and diamond floral clips could be worn separately or together in some combination. The Queen Mother continued to wear these clips during her long widowhood, sometimes together but more often singly, complementing the oriental circlet and the crown ruby necklace and earrings. Queen Elizabeth II wore them occasionally, including her diamond wedding anniversary and Christmas Day church service, one at a time in later years. The Red Flower Posy Brooch. This youthfully cute brooch features a ruby and diamond set Sweet William flower set in yellow gold with a diamond ribbon and stem. It is often called the Ruby Posy Brooch. The exact origin of the brooch is unknown. On the internet, I came across 2 versions. One narrative suggests that the brooch might have been presented to Queen Elizabeth by the Lord Mayor of Bristol during her visit to the city in 1954. However, another version claims it was a gift from her husband, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, in the 1960s. Personally, I find the connection to Prince Philip unlikely, especially considering that after his passing, the Queen has notably favored wearing the Grima ruby brooch in his memory, rather than this flower brooch. The Queen Victoria's Crown Ruby Brooch. Continuing our exploration of Queen Elizabeth II's brooch collection, let's delve into a piece rich in royal history, Queen Victoria's Crown Ruby Brooch. This brooch features a large oval-shaped ruby above a pear-shaped ruby pendant, both encircled by diamonds. The rubies in this piece are exceptionally large and stunning. Interestingly, this brooch started as an opal and diamond brooch. Queen Victoria bought the brooch and matching earrings from Garrard's in 1854. They were intended to complement the oriental circlet tiara and crown ruby necklace, which were designed by Prince Albert for his wife. While these pieces are now known for their striking rubies, they originally featured opals, one of Albert's favorite gemstones. Queen Victoria bequeathed the opal set to the crown upon her death in 1901. Queen Alexandra had the opal tiara, necklace, and earrings reset with rubies, although she was never photographed wearing them. Queen Mary had the brooch reset with rubies in 1926, but she was only photographed wearing it once, in a portrait. The crown ruby set became a favorite of the Queen Mother, who wore the pieces frequently both as Queen Consort and as Queen Mother. Although she didn't wear the brooch as often as the other pieces, she did wear it on several notable occasions, including a portrait, a state dinner, and a visit to Imperial College London. After the Queen Mother's death in 2002, Queen Victoria's crown ruby set returned to Queen Elizabeth II. Although they are crown property, the Queen allowed her mother to continue wearing them. Her Majesty has worn all the ruby pieces, though never all at once. She first wore Queen Victoria's crown ruby brooch on the first day of royal ascot in 2015, and again shortly afterward on a state visit to Germany. This brooch is truly captivating. The size and beauty of the stones combined with its rich history make it a remarkable piece. I wish we had color photos of it in its original opal setting. The gold and ruby floral brooch. The next brooch features 7 gold flowers, possibly stylized chrysanthemums, with round ruby pistils, set against the exterior of a vertical gold grid. Each of the 3 intersections of the gold rope is tied, with a diamond cross made up of 4 square stones. The stylized design is reminiscent of the 1940s. This charming brooch was one of the many wedding gifts received by the Queen when she married the Duke of Edinburgh in November 1947. However, there is some uncertainty about who exactly gifted the brooch. Based on the written descriptions of the wedding gifts, the brooch theoretically matches 2 different descriptions. Thus, according to one version, the gift was presented by the director of Garrett and Company, while another version suggests it was a gift from the Principality of Monaco. The Queen has worn this brooch from time to time over the years, pairing it with outfits of different colors. She pinned this royal brooch to the shoulder of pink, oatmeal, green, and even yellow outfits. Golden Trellis brooch. Another wedding gift given to then Princess Elizabeth in 1947 is the Golden Trellis brooch. This oval-shaped brooch features an intricate mesh of gold grids, emerging from a cluster of 5 diamond lilies. Each lily has a stem made of baguette-cut rubies set in an invisible setting. It's fitting to consider this brooch alongside the previous one because the presence of 2 gold brooches with rubies and diamonds caused some confusion in identifying the wedding gifts. This brooch is either a gift from the director of Garrett and Company or from the Principality of Monaco. However, without confirmation from Buckingham Palace, it remains a mystery. Queen Elizabeth II has worn this brooch regularly since receiving it. In the last years of her reign, she favored it with outfits in pink or purple tones, which complemented the delicate design of the royal brooch. Gold lacework brooch. And one more gold brooch with diamonds and rubies, given to Elizabeth for her wedding, which we will consider. This is the gold lace work brooch. Unlike the 2 previous brooches, this one was successfully identified. The gold brooch was gifted by the jewelers and silversmiths of Great Britain. It was described on the official wedding list as a gold lacework brooch set with diamonds and rubies, which is clearly the source of its commonly used name. The Onslow butterfly brooch. This delicate butterfly brooch, adorned with diamonds and rubies, was a wedding gift to the Queen from Violet, the Dowager Countess of Onslow, in 1947. An interesting fact is that the Dowager Countess was the daughter of the 3rd Baron Poltimore, and her brother, the 4th Baron Poltimore, sold the family's Poltimore tiara to Princess Margaret. The brooch was rarely seen in public, but in the last years of her reign, Elizabeth wore it more often. She usually paired it with pink or red outfits, as the rubies complemented these colors beautifully. The most memorable appearance of the Queen with this butterfly brooch was at the COP26 evening reception in her message after Prince Philip's death, where she touchingly mentioned him, highlighting his dedication to environmental causes and expressing pride in her family's continued efforts in this area.
This is a duty I'm especially happy to discharge, as the impact of the environment on human progress was a subject close to the heart of my dear late husband, Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh.
The Tudor Rose brooch. This is another brooch with a mysterious origin. Queen Elizabeth II was first seen wearing this particular Tudor rose brooch with diamonds and rubies in 2012 and has worn it several times since. It is speculated that it might have been a gift for the Diamond Jubilee and possibly part of a quartet of national symbols gifted by the Sultan of Oman. The Tudor rose is one of the most important symbols of the British monarchy, representing the united heritage of the York and Lancaster houses. Emir of Bahrain brooch. This brooch was a gift from the Emir of Bahrain in 1979. It is designed as a dhow boat, a traditional sailing vessel of the region. Gerard created the brooch, which features the boat made out of gold, inlaid with diamonds, diamond sails, and rubies to represent the Red Sea. It was presented to Queen Elizabeth during her and the Duke of Edinburgh's state visit to Bahrain, marking the country's independence from the UK. The brooch symbolizes the strong diplomatic relations and mutual respect between Bahrain and the United Kingdom. The modern ruby and diamond spray brooch. The modern ruby and diamond spray brooch is a remarkable piece in Queen Elizabeth II's collection, with an unknown origin, but a design that dates back to the mid-20th century. This brooch features a gold setting adorned with diamonds and a slender row of rubies, embodying a sophisticated and timeless design. She's worn it for multiple state visits and Commonwealth tours, and she even chose it for her Diamond Jubilee walkabout in Windsor in 2012. It also reminded me of the Firebird when Elizabeth wore the brooch with the diamond spray facing downward. Which ruby brooch is your favorite? If you haven't seen my previous video about Queen Elizabeth II's ruby jewelry yet, it will complement this episode perfectly. Thank you for watching this video. Share your impressions in the comments and support my channel by subscribing and liking. Thank you.